Because one of the things that popped into my mind when I read that about the way you see songwriting, what drives you then? What keeps you going back and delving into those things? Those emotions.
I think I enjoy pain. I don't know. I guess I like to torture myself in a way, but at the same time, it also feels necessary for life, for my life, to talk, because I didn't express much emotion growing up. I didn't talk about. No one even knew. None of my good friends, like going through school or whatever, they didn't even know I didn't have a father. I just never talked about it and whatever. And yeah, so I never talked about anything.
Right.
So I guess I'm sort of getting addicted to just talking, because I'm realizing it does help. It hurts to realize how messed up I am, you know. But at the same time too, I think it's if I didn't have the outlet, it would be worse.
Right. So, and obviously this is quite personal, so you can talk about it as much as you like. But what have you discovered then about yourself in this record?
I discovered that I'm not quite sane. You know, I'm not right. I don't treat myself with respect. I do a lot of self-harm, just by treating my body badly and pushing myself to the limits. And I'm realizing that I should probably start, I don't know, get rid of the self-hate and just appreciate, that I am this human being, and that this is, perhaps a beautiful thing, this existence, and that's something that I have a hard time with.
Because on the other side is once you get to that release and you play these songs for people and they can connect with it, and they tell you, I suppose, that they connect with it. What does that do to you then? Is that relevant to you then in a way?
Yeah, for sure. It gives you that feeling that you're not alone. So you're not alone with your problems and your thoughts. There's thousands, millions of people just like you. So that's cool. When people come up and connect, it makes me feel like, okay, I can try. I can continue to try and try to reach some sort of inner peace, because I'm not the only one. And it's cool because it's the same thing for them. They also realize that they're not the only one.
Right.
And that I'm the one. I feel like it's almost my job to be the guy that expresses this within the music industry.
Do you think there's a lack of that kind of honesty?
For sure. I mean, with the most popular genres are like trap music, and electronic music, like dance music. And I feel like, which I love, but a lot of it is used as an escape from reality. It's all about Friday night, Saturday night. Let's just dance, which is also a beautiful thing. But it's not pointing the finger at it. There's a reason why that kind of music exists. I mean, because we need to escape, but at the same time, no one's facing anything.
There has to come a time that you kind of...
Yeah, so I guess, maybe people don't need that, but I feel like it's important to kind of know what's going on, to realize that any sort of feeling you have, dark thoughts, whatever, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's better to it's more powerful to learn from it and understand it than just to ignore it.
The album is called Criminal. It's the final track on the album. What is the significance of that particular track?
That's the guilt, It's all about guilt. I'm calling myself a criminal on that song. The lyrics are all about blaming myself, and I used that track as the final track because my whole life is still it's unresolved. So I'm calling myself criminal at the end of the album, so because I know that I haven't fixed myself yet, and who knows, maybe I'll be like this forever. And if it is, I guess I'm used to it, but it'd be nice to solve my life mission, whatever the fuck it is.
That's an interesting thought, because even though you say every album gets harder and it brings along more pain, do you feel like you're getting closer to an understanding? Or?
Yeah, for sure. I can just see that in my, just the way I'm looking at tour now. I'm starting to treat myself better. I'm sleeping more, things like that. I'm more, bit more concerned with professionalism on the stage. So I think it is working, you know. Or I guess I'm becoming an adult, but yeah, it's definitely working. I'm feeling stronger mentally and physically.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and this by no means is the end, obviously, but so you are getting closer to
Yeah,
this sense.
I would say so.
There's I wrote down a couple of lines. We don't have to get into all of them, but one song in particular that kind of struck me was "Young," and there's a line in that you remind me of when I was young. What kind of gave inspiration for that line?
That song is about my future me.
Okay.
It's kind of an optimistic song for me. It's all about optimism. It's about knowing that I'm on the path to getting better, and then once I do get better, I'm telling myself that you remind me of when I was young, when I was, you know, a bit messed up and whatever. So that's just an optimistic track that I'm hoping works out.
Because part of the album, even though it's quite angry, there is at least I felt a sense of hope in
Always.
So how? Yeah,
there's always
is that
underlining
important?
of hope. Yeah, because I don't want total chaos. You know, I don't want. I mean, it's kind of romantic in a way. You know, it's a dark and beautiful thought, but in the end, you know, I know what's right and what's wrong.
Sure.
So I think there's a still underlining of what's right. You know, what I need to do. So it could be also where maybe perhaps the hope is just me justifying my actions in my current moment. You know, saying that okay, it's going to be okay, so continue to be bad. You know, but or it could be ultimate hope where it is going to be better overall.
Right. Yeah. Final question then, because well, in a sense, I think you said this as well, that Criminal is in a way a kind of response to Deeper. You mentioned the poppy elements, and then this one is a little bit more industrial, a little bit more hardcore, if you can call it that way. Have you already written, and have you noticed what your mindset is now?
For the future?
For maybe a next thing, or?
No, I never predetermine
Okay.
my music. I wait until it's time to write.
Okay.
I kind of look at everything as a sort of a chapter, every album, the tour that follows the new album. So once the tour's over, then I sit down and everything that I've collected, you know, during that time touring the new album or whatever, then I sit down and I just let it all out. But I just don't like to predetermine, you know. I like to wait until I can do it all at once.
So you go, like you said before, that you go into your room and then kind of the floodgates open. And
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because it's like I feel like I'm sort of a sponge, you know, and I'm just collecting, absorbing as much as I can, and then once Criminal will be completed, you know, in terms of the entire mission, campaign, whatever, then I'm gonna squeeze that sponge.
Fair enough. Luis, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks.